Hey guys, Riley the Nerd here. Today, we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers Age of Extinction Strafe. Yes, so it's good to be back yet again. If you are wondering what I meant by that, I haven't been taking a look at a Transformers figure in quite some time. I think the last figure that I did was the Soundwave review. Let me just take them off for the side. So if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. But here's the Soundwave that I did, and he's on the side here. But so we're back here yet again with the Transformer reviews. But I think that this figure is actually pretty good for how old it is. Like I said in the Age of Extinction Grimlock review, if you have not checked that video out, go check it out. And I said in that review that the dinosaur mode was fine, robot mode was complete garbage because of certain reasons. If you are wondering why that is, just go check out that review if you haven't. But I pulled this guy in the review and I said that Strafe has a better dinosaur mode and better robot mode than Grimlock, which is kind of sad, to be honest. But if you're wondering who Strafe is, and if you don't know who Strafe is, basically, he has no personality and he doesn't speak. Well, that's not entirely true, because the Dinobots in that movie, they never spoke a single word. They growled, and just a waste of characters. God damn it, Michael Bay. But personality-wise, I think it comes with their Dinobot, like with their dinosaur mode and their robot mode, and it gives a little bit personality about what they are. So, anyway, let's actually take a look at the details on this figure. Very great looking dinosaur mode. I do like it. So as you can see, he's a two-headed pteranodon. Beautiful. So, very large wingspan. He's basically, he takes a lot out of frame, so I basically have to get him basically that, and even then his tip of his wings like don't even fit into frame. So he's a very large wingspan. And on the back of the wings, you have the Autobot logos on both sides of the wings, and we'll get to that in a second. But beautiful painting and sculpting on this figure. By the way, speaking of painting and sculpting, the paint on here is like metallic, and as you can see here, let me just focus on that. And as you can see in the reflection of the light, you see these like little blue like metallic spots. Those are actual like paint. And also the wings are painted as well, but mostly everything is just bare plastic. So that's great. So you don't have to worry about paint chipping. The only things that are traditionally painted are the wings here, the claws, the silver parts on the snout and the eye, and the silver parts here, and of course the tail. But the tail also has some paint chipping because it's rubber, and you know. But so this figure is pretty old. I got him when Age of Extinction was coming out, and they just released the figures, and I got this guy. So he's pretty old, and that movie came out like 2014-esque or somewhere around there. Correct me if I'm wrong. But there is no paint chipping except for the tail and the end of the claws. But paint chipping and like breakage and stretch marks are near miss on this figure. So you could be a little bit rough with this guy. But as I said before, there's not much paint, so you don't have to worry about paint chipping. But let's get to the tail here. So as the tail here, as you can see on this tail, as you can see, he only has one tail, and I'll explain that why. Because when this figure came out, I got him, I took him in the car, and I opened it up, and as I opened up the packaging, his tail fell right off. And I was kind of upset about that, because this figure was, I think, about $25 or maybe even $17. Don't know, because I don't remember the price, but I think it's around 20 to the 10, like the teens, around there. But so we went back to Walmart. We got this figure yet again. We bought another one, and guess what happened? Literally, I brought him home, took him out of the packaging, and his tail fell right off. And I was very disappointed, and my mom said we are not going back. So I was kind of upset, so I looked at many videos and reviews of this figure, and everybody had no problems with the tail. The only major complaint that I've actually heard is that, like, this, as you can see, the tail is bent here, and they're, like curved a little bit, and they're like, oh, just take a hairdryer, just, like, blow that off, and that's pretty much it. So I never heard anything about the tail snapping off twice on the same tail as well. So I don't know if this figure's cursed. Maybe I just have bad luck. I don't care. But another complaint says, why make it rubber? Like, that is rubber. Like, other dinosaur modes I've seen, like Grimlock and the other dinosaur modes I've seen, they don't have, the tails are not made out of freaking rubber. They're made out of plastic, like their feet or anything. But why make it rubber? And also, you probably knew that, like, oh, it's rubber. It's going to get bent in the packaging, and it's probably going to snap right off. So why make it rubber in the first place? It doesn't take a goddamn genius to know that this right here is not a good idea because of this. Specifically this. But I'm not going to get the tail in the way of any of the figure. Besides the tail, everything is beautiful on this figure. Everything is great. And speaking of great, the articulation on the dinosaur mode is pretty decent as well. So, let's take a look at that. As I said before, beautiful painting and sculpting with the eye there. Way better painting than Grimlock, to be honest. But I do miss the kind of like the metallic paint in Grimlock, so that's kind of sad. But, you know, it's not sloppy or anything, so it's very nice. For the head, up and down at the neck, well, at the base of the head. So, you know, he can look up that far and down that far. And he has a rotation at the neck here, so you know you can get some rotation here, and he has this weird, like, as you can see there's a bent, like a hinge joint at the neck, and I don't know why that is, but it's mostly for the transformation, but it just seems out of place. And like I said before in that Grimlock review, has a functioning opening mouth, no freaking spring-loaded action feature needed, get out of here, but he does have some pretty sharp teeth, so watch out for that. And for the wings here, they have this flappy like this hinge joint, so it has like this flappy motion there. And you have a bend at the base of the tail, not the tail, but like the base of the wing here, or the end of the wing. And he also has a waist swivel. Beautiful. And for the feet here, for the legs, I should say, he has a ball joint at the legs here, and not a calf swivel. I don't know if that's a calf swivel, but a knee swivel. And it's also at this weird angle too. As you can see, like the legs are at a very strange angle, and I hate every second of it. But he does have a bend at the knee, and that's pretty much all you're gonna get unless you're gonna break the sculpt or like loosen the transformation. But the feet here, they also have a hinge joint at the feet. And at the base of the tail, they also have a hinge joint here. So that's pretty much it for articulation. But not too bad at all. So, beautiful. Very nice. I do like it. Probably one of my favorite dinosaur modes ever. So, let's get on to the transformation. Oh, I just forgot this. He does have some accessories, so we'll take a look at that now. But he does have a gun, so that will be relevant in the robot mode. But if you really want to, you can display the weapon on the back here. So you see this like little like octagon or hexagon, whatever shape that is. You fold the wings like this, kind of fold it out so they can get out of the way. Then you plug it in like so, make sure it's nice and tight in there. Then you just fold the wings underneath, make sure everything's very, very tight. And then you just have to kind of move, because there are pegs underneath there, as you can see, so you just have to move it, and bam, now you have weapon storage. And also, I do like how this end actually kind of fits with the actual like groove there, so it looks very nice. It also kind of gets like a little bit of a thicker back, so that's pretty nice. But the only difference is you can't flap his wings fully because it will pop off. or don't. But every single time, well, if you do that, that just looks weird. If you just do that, it just looks really weird. So if you just flap that like really hard, it's just gonna pop off. So I don't really care. And his other weapons, we'll get that later. But let's actually transform them, this guy. So what you want to do is that you want to separate the neck, so spread them apart, flip out his head, then fold with the weird hinge joint at the base of the head, like so. They don't plug in, so you just have to lay there, but they're not annoyingly loose, so it doesn't bother me. Oops, I just knocked down my lamp. Almost knocked it down, because I can speak English. Pry the arms apart, and there's the peg, and the peg is on there, so that if you really want to know how that attaches, so you just untap that. Then what you want to do is that when you kind of move the hinge joints together, fold it back so it looks like a cape. Bam, like so. Move the legs. Well, not the arms, I mean. Then you want to break the sculpt yet again. Then you want to twist it around. Bam. Break it apart yet again, and fold down the dinosaur feet, the dinosaur claws, and do it like this, and kind of display them like that. And there are actual grooves, like little notches in there, so you can see that, and they actually go in there, so it just like locks into place. And you kind of have to fold it down, and then, oops, and you have his robot mode, if he can stand properly. But here's his robot mode. He's a little bit tall, but that's okay. But yet again, the look of this robot mode is beautiful. It's way better than Grimlock ever was. And what I like about it is that there's no dead baby corpse on the back. So that's great. But there are just wings. But it looks like a cape, so it doesn't bother me that much. Nothing in this figure bothers me except for the goddamn tail. But everything else doesn't bother me. Like, there are, like, little complaints here and there, but the tail is, like, my only major complaint. And, so, here he is, very nice. But the look of this figure, beautiful. Like, the poses, I mean, I have to hold him like this because he's not going to stand. And it's going to take me forever to actually give him a proper pose. But, to me, just looking at this guy now, his legs are a little bit too long for me. I don't know, it just kind of looks weird compared to, like, the body and the arms and stuff like that. So, he has a little bit, like, long legs, so I don't know why that's about. So, but, yet again with the gun here, so you can plug it into his hand there, and you have a gun. Beautiful. Now, the only problem is that you have to spread the cape up like that, and that's pretty much all you're gonna do. So, it's just going to look, like, really weird, like that. Oh, that doesn't look too bad, actually. Looking at that now, it actually looks not that bad. It actually looks pretty well, actually. Here, let me just take this guy off for a second and just put his gun on the back. I think I just found my new display option, you guys. I've always, like, displayed him, or just, like, transform him with the cape. But now, he has, like, these really cool, badass-looking wings, and the gun looks beautiful as well. And it also gives him, like, a thicker back as well, so that's beautiful. I think I just found my new pose. Jesus. Anyway, but, as I said before, beautiful looking, robot mode. But for articulation, it's a little bit limited, just like the dinosaur mode. It's a little bit limited. But for the head, let's just move on. But for the head here, I just grabbed the gun because I thought it was his head. So he has a limited ball joint at the head. He can look side to side, and he can't look up that far. And I guess if you kind of move it down, but there's a hinge joint at the neck, so that's how he folds it in. But it just kind of gets in the way of looking up or down, so you kind of have to, like, do that. Oh, well, if you hold it down like that, it doesn't look too bad, actually. So I just kind of found that out now, so just be careful about the hinge joint. And like I said before, the dinosaur heads don't plug in, but they're not annoyingly loose. For the arms here, they have a rotation at the shoulder. Basic transformation. Not transformation, but basic articulation in a freaking thing. So let me just pry it open like that so you can see. Bam. Oh, it's kind of stuck. God damn it, stuck up. Hold on. His arm is stuck in the wing. I can't get it off. Come on. No, that's the wrong way, you dumb frick. Ow, just cut myself on the wings. Yeah, be careful with the spikes on the end of the wings and on the arms because they are sharp as well. Okay, got that. Anyway, so, like I said before, rotation at the thing, bicep swivel, bend at the elbows, that's pretty much all it can go. And wrists are very limited. That is the weirdest thing. And you look like it might fold in properly, but it doesn't. It just has a really weird hint, like a really weird swivel joint. And it also kind of gets in the way of, like I said before, I don't mind the gun, but on the back, but I do mind the gun on because the articulation on his arms are really weird looking, and I don't like it very much. That is not proper. I mean, you can kind of get it like that, and that's pretty much all you can get out of posability. And it just looks really weird, because if you do this, I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but if you're, like, doing that, it just looks really, really weird, and I don't like it all that much. And also, if you see this hole in there, it did come with a missile, but I really don't care for the missile, because I lost it. As the waist swivel is still here, the same leg articulation, but with an extra bend at the knee, and an extra bend as well. So, basically, everything that I mentioned, you know, you got the ball joint there, swivel, like knee swivel, bend at the knee, and then you have a double bend in the knee as well. So, but it doesn't look that great. And like I said before, cape's still everything, but everything is pretty much the same, but different from Grimlock, where he actually has good, well, not good articulation, but great, like both modes are equally great in their own ways. Except for Grimlock, where basically all you display him is his freaking dinosaur mode, and not his robot mode, for obvious reasons. But, yeah. As I said before in the beginning of the video, that he doesn't speak and he has no personality. He kind of does have personality in him. I mean, he's very intimidating looking, and also, he does have some more weapons. I forgot to mention, yet again, before, because I don't deserve this freaking job. Anyway, but here's his swords, and they don't look that great, to be honest. I mostly just have them here. And also, what's really nice is that when you plug them in, they line up perfectly, instead of like going out here or in there. So, very nice. So, you can have it like holding it like a gun for some reason, or you could have it the traditional, cooler looking way. And the swords do not look that great. I would have preferred a much like stabbier look to them, and they are not sharp at all, so you don't have to worry. And apparently and also it's just really dull. So, you know, you can get some good sword poses. I personally like the swords in his hand better than his gun, but that's pretty much all you can get out of the swords. But he does have personality in his design. So, you know, he's kind of intimidating looking, but he's also kind of brave at the same time. So, you know, you just get for different personalities, even though that they don't speak. So, very nice. There's nothing much to say about this figure, guys. So, if you guys, comment, like, subscribe. I don't care what you do, but you guys know what time it is. So, bye, guys.